Hello, my friends and viewers. My name is Dr. Mrs. Yayra Bonney, the President of Godly Couples Fellowship. Today, I'm really excited to be here and to share with you what I have learned in my years of marriage. By the grace of God, my husband and I turned 17 years in marriage on the 17th of July 2021. And I want to share with you 17 things I have learned, which I believe will help you make your marriage better. The very first thing I have learned is that marriage is God's idea. And because it's God's idea, the only way to do it and get it right is to go back to God and ask Him how to do it. For that, I found the Bible as a very useful tool, because in the Bible, God has laid down every rule, every guideline that we need to make our marriages work. So first, marriage is of God and must be done God's way. Secondly, I learned that marriages do not work by themselves, except the people who are married decide to work on it consistently and with commitment. 3, I learned that we cannot assume that our marriages are working unless we talk to our spouses. Sometimes we think that because the marriage, we are not fighting in the marriage, or we are not like at loggerheads, we wake up, we are happy, we go and come back. We think the marriage is working. But until you talk to your spouse, you wouldn't know that your marriage is really not working. So I have learned, the third thing I have learned is to always do a health check on my marriage. Hold on there. I'll be with you for the next lessons. So number 4, I have learned that just as each individual is different and each spouse is different, so are marriages. So I do not have to compare my marriage to any other person's marriage, because the two of us that are in my marriage are completely different from the two people in another person's marriage. So no comparison. Number 5, it is important to celebrate milestones. Yes, birthdays, anniversaries, any day, even the day that you said yes. If only you can remember the date, it's important to celebrate those milestones, because those are the things that will make the marriage exciting. So don't forget to celebrate milestones and celebrate them in non-stop. First thing I learned in my 17 years of marriage is that marriages work better when each spouse concentrates on making the other one happy. So instead of thinking, what will he do to make me happy? What will he do to make me feel loved? I rather concentrate on doing what will make you happy, what will make you feel loved. And as I do that, and my spouse does that, we both happy, nobody lacks, because we are seeking the other person's good. That is my lesson number 6. Lesson number 7 is that to love is to sacrifice. To love is to step out of your comfort zone, to stretch yourself a bit so that the other person is a little comfortable. We don't have to think that if this doesn't come to me naturally, but it makes my husband happy, I wouldn't do it. To love is sacrifice. The sacrifice is an important part of love. So for the relationship to work, each spouse has to be willing to sacrifice for the other person. Lesson number 8 is that you have to be intentional in creating memories together. Anything you are doing together, take pictures, take videos, keep them around, because those are the things that will keep you going when the times get tough. Life happens, so tough times will come. It's not because you've done anything wrong or not, but sometimes things just don't go well for you, either at work or in your health or something. During those times, it is the memories you have created together that will keep you going. Thank you. We are almost halfway through. Follow me for the next ones. Lesson number 9. It is not here because it's not so important. It's here because I wanted to keep it in the middle of the 17 lessons. So that is, keep God in His rightful place in the relationship. I've already said that marriage was here by God. You need to give God the rightful place in the relationship. You have to keep your prayer life, your word study life, your fellowship together. The two of you praying together, studying the word together. It's important to keep your marriage doing well. So keep God in the right place. Give him the first place in the marriage. Lesson number 10. In the same vein, take practical and intentional steps to get closer to God as an individual. So don't say that, oh, my husband rushes off, so I will not pray. Pray by yourself, declare your own fasting, do it, get closer to God, attend programs, read books, do things that will get you as an individual closer to God. As you are doing that and your spouse is also doing that, you realize that the two of you get closer to God together. And in getting closer to God together, you end up getting closer to each other. Lesson number 11. Love each other genuinely. And to love each other genuinely, we have to know that love is not a feeling, but it is an action. It is what you do. And for this one, 1 Corinthians 13 from verse 4 to 8a says it clearly. That love is patient. I believe you know the rest. It's kind and all that. Practice that kind of love in your relationship and it will work out well for you. Lesson number 12. Work daily to become one. The Bible says in Genesis 2 and verse 24 that the man shall leave the father and the mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. But I've realized that this oneness doesn't just happen automatically. You have to work at it by praying together, by planning together, and by playing together. In fact, the playing together is very important. Find things that the two of you can do together, whether it's football you are watching together, movies you are washing together, whatever it is, make sure that you are doing things together, and that is how you become one. Lesson number 13. I have learned that forgiveness is key to any relationship that will work. So we have to give each other a blank check of unconditional forgiveness. What it means is that, yes, because we are humans, we will offend each other. But each spouse must be willing and ready to forgive whatever the other person does. That is the only way. Because if we do not forgive, the marriage will not work. So again, give each other a blank check of unconditional forgiveness. Meaning even before the offense comes, you've already forgiven ahead. And that makes the marriage work. Lesson number 14. Practice Christ-like humility. I've talked about forgiveness and all the other things that I've learned. I realize that those things can only be done when we practice Christ-like humility, when we are humble. Because pride is one thing that works against our relationships. So if you choose to be big, to feel big in your shoes, the marriage will just collapse on your head. So you have to be humble. Be humble, no matter your status, no matter what you have, just be humble. And in humility, you will get your marriage to work perfectly. So lesson number 15, treat each other with respect. Don't think that you are better than your spouse. You need to practice mutual respect. Whatever decisions you want to take, whatever you want to do, run it past your spouse. Let your spouse be aware of things you want to do, where you want to go, so that they are not in the dark concerning the things that you want to do. It's important. And it is not just the woman who has to respect the man, but the Bible says that we should respect each other out of reverence for God. So it is important that we practice mutual respect to make our marriages work. Lesson number 16. It's show deep affection for each other. Make time to spend together. Make time to express how blessed you are to have each other. Tell each other that, oh, I'm happy I married you. I thank God for you. Hold each other, hold hands when you are walking. Go to places together. Do things that will make the other person feel like they are very important in your life. It is important to show affection in the things we do and in the things we say. You touch, you hold, you walk together. One of the lessons I have learned is that it is important to show affection to each other in marriage. Finally, lesson number 17. As you can see, the road behind me is so long. And yes, we have traveled 17 years already, but we have so many more years to go. One of the things I have learned, which I will say for the last, it's appreciation. Never take your spouse for granted. Never take what they do for you for granted. And don't think that, oh, it is yours by right because I'm his wife or because I'm her husband, they have to do it for me. No, appreciate them in words, appreciate them with gifts, appreciate them in private when you are just alone, and when you are with other people, when other people give good comments about your spouse, confirm it. Tell them that yes, that is true, and even add more. Don't run your spouse down for anything. Even when they do something that you are not happy about, make sure that you are not running them down. It is important to say thank you. Thank you for being my husband. Thank you for being my wife. That is very important because appreciation is like oil that makes people do more. So appreciate your spouse. So my dear friends, this is the end of my 17 lessons for our 17th anniversary. I hope you have enjoyed each one of them, and I pray that you put them into practice so that you make your marriages better. Those of you who are not yet 17, I pray that you get to 17 and beyond. And those who are more than 17, I wish you 17 more fruitful and beautiful years. I hope you've enjoyed this session. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do that immediately and kindly press the bell so that you get alerts on our new postings. And if you need to contact us to have any program, to facilitate programs for you, kindly check the contacts. It's running right down there. Check our contact us, and we'll be there to facilitate your programs for you. Thank you for watching. See you on the next show. God bless.